fastest female to solo row across the Atlantic. I start in Gran Canaria and then head slightly southwest to get out into the ocean, and then ultimately it's fairly straight across to Barbados, which is 3,000 miles in total. Less than 15 women have taken on this challenge on their own and successfully completed it. There's very few things I can think of that I've done previously where those are the kind of stats that sit around it. I wasn't an active child at all. I didn't really come to sport until my mid-20s, and it was at a point in life where I endured a reasonable amount of adversity and suffered with issues as a result of that adversity. I had an eating disorder for a long time and depression, and there's only so long you can outrun things like that, and sport has been transformational for me in overcoming those things. I started with running. I think running's a good gateway sport for most people, and once I got more into that, I took up cycling, did my first triathlon, did my first trail run, which was horrific. This body was built for rowing, not for running up hills. And then found with each of those sporting achievements that you expand your definition of who you are and what you're capable of, and they give you a reason to look after yourself and fuel your body properly, and a sense of purpose, I guess. Now I've overcome those things, I really want to use that to encourage other people to benefit from what sport has to offer. I'm doing the row to raise money for UK charity Women in Sport, who are the only charity that research sport purely from the angle of women and girls, and the money I'll raise for them will help them to drive programmes and lobbying that encourage women and girls into sport, and also look to address the barriers that are preventing them being involved at the moment.
Have you done anything like this before?
I haven't done any rowing. I learnt to row for the challenge. I've done a few endurance events, climbed the Mont Blanc and Kilimanjaro, and have done some shorter form endurance, but nothing of this scale, no. I first thought about doing it in the summer of 2018. It takes a couple of years at least to get to the start of a crossing like this, and you have to have a boat built or buy a boat. You learn all the qualifications you're going to need on the water. You need to raise corporate sponsorship in order to help fund the row, raise charitable sponsorship. There's such a broad spectrum of things that you need to do in order to put something like this onto the water.
This is a R20 ocean rowing boat, which is slightly smaller than the boat I'll be rowing in. 8 metres in length, quite a small amount of space to spend 7 weeks in. You have a moving rowing position, a forward cabin for your storage, your anchor, your power anchor. All your power is run through the solar panels on the front and back of the cabins. And then your main cabin is in here, which is your very sizable living quarters. You will sleep in this cabin. You'll actually have space under the deck here where you can put your feet and lie down. You have all of your electrics in here, so your switchboard and your batteries, your navigation, your radio, so you can radio through to other ships. So you'll have 2 pairs of oars on the boat in case any get damaged by big waves, or there was a team this year that had one bitten in half by a shark. Oh my God. Place your oars into the gates here, and then you have a moving seat, so you'll be rowing in this space for 49 days, 2 hours on, 2 hours off. Actually, I think the simple existence of having X amount of space to manage and just needing to row every day is quite a welcomed prospect.
I've been working with Rannoch Adventure, who make all of the ocean rowing boats, and they are owned by Charlie Pitcher, who's taken on the Atlantic twice himself. He just missed the record first time, decided before he finished he was going to go back and have another go. He's been incredibly useful. I'm doing all my on the water training with him. He's built the boat. He initially designed it for himself, so it's the perfect specification for taking on a record attempt.
The boat is brand new. She's never been in the water. I was just waiting for the right person to come along. Tori was that person that is very, very fired up about being successful, and as a result, she's got this boat here that is the best of the best of the best in terms of the technology that we've got here and the equipment. She's all carbon. She's built race car style, literally Formula One technology, the lightest and strongest that you can build anything with. And I know that the day that she leaves, she will be 100% prepared and ready to do the job.
I've been working with Dawn Wood, who took on the same record attempt last year, rowed the Atlantic on her own, and I've sat all of my qualifications with Dawn for navigation, first aid, VHF radio licence, and she's been incredibly helpful and an amazing guidance in terms of having been there herself.
In the past, there's people that have tried to do these crossings thinking that you just get in the boat and row. Victoria's made such a massive effort to research, to speak to other people that have rowed an ocean, and to just get as much information as she possibly can.
There's no set average day. You'll work in a shift pattern, 2 hours on, 2 hours off. In your off period, you need to maintain the boat and prepare your food, sleep, etc. So there'll be a fairly regular routine to what the average day looks like.
There's no time to make phone calls and talk to loved ones about, oh, what's the weather like and what are they all doing in the UK? It's total focus on the job in hand.
I would say the boat maintenance, the main thing is ensuring that the underneath of your boat's clean, so that's getting into the water to clean off anything that's attached itself. It's checking your equipment, keeping everything in top form, making sure you don't get any saltwater corrosion. And then your body maintenance is looking after your hands, looking after your bum, looking after your muscles, making sure that you're in the best shape possible to keep rowing. You can't control the ocean, obviously. I think that's the key takeaway from everybody is you need to prepare to fail, basically. You need to know what to do in the worst case scenario.
My one bit of advice is enjoy it. Enjoy every moment. This could be the only time you ever row an ocean, so you need to enjoy every single moment. Take every moment in. Listen to the sounds of the sea. Enjoy the wildlife that come to visit you. Don't miss a single thing.
I will spend a certain amount of time rowing on my own in order to simulate what it's going to be like, but you can't ever fully 100% prepare to spend the best part of 2 months on your own. I think you have to develop strong coping mechanisms, but really the true thing that gets you through is doing it for a purpose that you're really passionate about, because on the hard days, remembering why you're there is going to be what drives you through. This is just the sort of start of things that I want to do in this area, so I don't see the row as the only thing that I'm doing to drive change. I want to then look to how I continue after those 40 days on the ocean to push development within this area. So once I'm back in the UK, my aim is to carry on this work.
So rowing the Atlantic is just the beginning for you?
The start, yeah.